My name is Yanni Kokos, and I'm the head coach and owner at Oli PR Performance. Today, I want to talk about old school versus new school approach to coaching weightlifting and why quick cues and on-the-spot corrections are a thing of the past. The old school way of coaching Olympic weightlifting, we've all seen it. It is the quick cue or the on-the-spot correction. So maybe you're at a CrossFit gym or a barbell club or whatever it may be. You're in a group setting and you're lifting. And the coach comes up to you after an Olympic lift, after a snatch, a clean, a jerk, and they give you an on-the-spot correction, right? What is that? It's basically something where they've noticed something wrong with your lift, and they coach you through it by giving you a cue. So they might walk up to you and say, get tall, or keep the bar closer, or get under the bar faster. And as the lifter, you're like, okay, I kind of see what's going on. You redo the lift, and maybe that's the one thing you focus on for the next time, and then you do it. They come up to you and they say, good, you fixed it, right? Awesome. And maybe you did. Maybe it did look better the second time than the first in terms of getting under the bar faster or, keeping that bar close. But then how are you going to replicate that moving forward? Their thought is, okay, next time you come in, if you have the same problem, they'll come up, they'll correct it. And on the spot is the best because you're immediately fixing whatever the problem is, right? In theory. And so if I'm immediately fixing it versus getting feedback later, that's better because in the moment is the best time to fix something. Now, what old school is failing to realize is that is not how human learning happens, right? So human learning doesn't, although it's great to have some sort of feeling that you are mastering something on the spot, human learning happens by doing something over and over and over again. It's practicing, it's repeating. Think about like a professional athlete in a sporting realm. Let's just take like football, right? Why do they even practice? Somebody who's like 35 years old, who's been playing football for 15 years in the professional sense, why do they still go to practice on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Because it's repetition. That stuff matters. Skills can only be acquired if we continue to do them over and over and execute them over and over and over again, especially our weaknesses, right? Especially things that are not going well. One quick on-the-spot correction, although it feels good in the moment, fails to understand that part of human learning is that it takes that sort of, it takes a whole system. It takes a real hard approach at fixing that problem to make it better. And so an on-the-spot correction, what it's missing is that plan. It's missing a plan to say, okay, this is something that we're seeing happen over and over again. How can we fix it, right? It's also saying some things are outliers. So if you go to do a lift and you maybe didn't keep the bar close on that one time, that may be not something worth correcting because it's not a pattern yet. Now, if somebody sees you do it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, now it's a pattern. That pattern needs to be adjusted. Right now we realize that. But sometimes not just trying to fix everything all in that moment, letting you sit back, letting you analyze with your coach what is going on, how can we address it, and what is the plan moving forward to make sure it sticks, right? It's like, I always say it's like, it's one thing to just open up a document and type the words. It's another thing to then click save. Right? We need to click save. That's where the new school of, weightlifting coaching comes into play. So that says we're not just going to walk up to you, give you some sort of cue, and then never talk about it again until you come next time. You show up, you do the same problem, you have the same issue, you show the same error, and then we tell you something, you do it again, you feel good, you go home. The new school says, let's find a pattern. Let's find things that you're doing well and keep doing them. Let's find things that you're not doing so well and work on them. But it's not just about me saying to you, get under the bar faster, because we could get into an entire tangent, but just telling somebody that. I mean, as a weightlifter, how many times have you heard that? You know you need to get under the bar faster, but somebody telling you that isn't going to just work, right? It just your body can't just repeat it just because somebody's telling you to. But that is a tangent for another day. Right now, we're focusing on new school, and we're focusing on how can this become a pattern. So the better way is to take a step back with your coach, analyze those videos, and say, okay, these are the things that are going really well. Let's continue to repeat them. This pattern keeps showing up as a technique error. Let's fix it. You understand it. The coach points it out. You see it because you have now videoed yourself. We've done video analysis. And then we change the programming together to reflect those things. So if something's not going well, let's say it is that you're not keeping the bar close. The programming now reflects that. So all the different, we focus on things like pulls, right? Pulls keep the bar close to you. So maybe the programming needs to shift towards maybe doing more pulls. Maybe it needs to focus on doing a little bit more from the hang position or the high hang position. And then from there, it's also going to be a matter of drills, right? So not just the programming that needs to reflect that, but can we also add in drills that are going to address that? So if the idea is I can't get under the bar fast, for some reason, it keeps happening. My coach comes up and tells me it, but it never gets better. How you would address that is say, okay, obviously we're going to work on that in your programming moving forward, but let's add some drills, some high hang cleans, right? Because it doesn't give you a chance to have the momentum of the bar coming up. You have to start at your hip crease. So you either have to get underneath it fast or you're going to drop that bar. That's a great way to learn how to get underneath it fast. If we're talking about a snatch example, maybe a snatch balance, it gets you comfortable with that load acceptance. And the more you practice and repeat and repeat and repeat that skill, the more it becomes a learned pattern. And then we use that video analysis together to analyze, is it getting better? And how can we continue to address that moving forward? And then you might look at something like, is it because of another issue? Do I have a mobility issue that's preventing me from doing that? So in the meantime, we change your programming to reflect that. That's the difference between old school and new school. This is why, having a coach that understands this can help you really break through those barriers. And although it might make sense to be in a group setting where, somebody comes up and fixes you on the spot instead of waiting till afterwards to really sit back and analyze, you'll come to find that this system is incomplete, right? This old school system doesn't help you actually learn the pattern. It doesn't actually help you learn what you're missing. This one keeps you actively involved. It's not somebody telling you something. It's saying, hey, let's do this together. Let's figure out what you're missing so we can approach this and fix this together. And that new school has helped my weightlifters break through immensely. I coach all of my weightlifters, believe it or not, virtually. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what time of the day that you decide you want to weightlift. You do it on your time. But together, we are able to take that step back and look at, what is it that you're struggling with? Can we tweak and adjust the programming on the fly to make sure that that skill is attained over time? And that is the focus of the programming moving forward. Equip you with the drills that you need to really hone in that skill, and then go one by one until there is nothing left to address. This system is a lot more foolproof. It has helped my weightlifters really break through a lot of their barriers. I mean, just go to my Instagram page and look at some of their technique testimonials. They'll tell you that this system has helped them break through barriers that they had for a long time after being in group training. CrossFit gym, I had one in a CrossFit gym that I can think of off the top of my head that really comes to mind off the bat. One that was in a barbell club, another that was in like a group fitness, not exactly like CrossFit, but group fitness class. One had a personal trainer, and none of them were able to break through these barriers until they did this system. So I urge you to think of old school versus new school and really think, does this make sense to you? And if not, you can certainly always message me. We can discuss how that works in detail. I know I could talk all day about this, and I'm definitely leaving out some detail for sure. But think through, how would that help you? Does this make sense for you? Regardless, go over to my Instagram page. If you haven't already, give me a follow. It's YIANNI. It's my name, Yanni _Oli PR Performance. That's the the business that I'm coaching through online currently that I just described. And give me a follow. I talk a ton about this stuff all the time. Old school versus new school is a big thing for me. So go ahead and give me a follow. Go check it out and message me with any questions.